Good morning.
ප්‍රියන්ත මහත්තයා ඉන්නවද?
බැංකු ගිහින් මැඩම්.
සම්පත් online banking. පහසුයි ලේසි කාලේ ඉතුරුයි. සම්පත් බැංකුව හෙට දින එළිය කරයි.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Lunchtime News. Come to you live and direct from the Newsfirst Centre here in Colombo. I am Florin Rajendran. Let's now take a look at your headlines. Accepting of nominations for the 2015 general elections resume. Sana Jayasuriya withdraws from politics. US wins the Women's Football World Cup for the third time with a crushing victory over Japan. On to those stories in detail now. Deputy Minister Sana Jayasuriya says that he does not intend to contest the forthcoming general election. Speaking to News First, he said that he has notified President Maithripala Sirisena and Party Secretary Anura Priyadarshana Yapa that he has resigned from post of party organizer for Mathura. National Aquatic Resources Research and Development Agency or NARA says that the jellyfish infestation that was prevalent along the western and southern coastal areas has dropped.
Scientist Upul Liyanage said that accordingly, those beaches that were closed to the public due to the threat of jellyfish are now opened. Warnings were issued to the public to refrain from swimming in several coastal regions as a large number of jellyfish were washing ashore last month. Several incidents of people being stung by the jellyfish and hospitalized were reported from the Mount Lavinia, Dehuala and parts of south and western coasts over the last month.
In more local news now, 2 people were killed in 2 separate shootings that took place yesterday. A woman has been arrested along with 285 grams of heroin in possession down 2nd Cross Street in Point Pedro. The 30-year-old woman, a resident of Lighthouse Lane in Point Pedro, was arrested in a raid that was carried out by Putlam Anti-Vice Unit last evening. Police said that the suspect is to be produced before the Point Pedro Magistrate Court today. Now, several villages across the country face a lack of basic infrastructure, and in a country crisis crossed by major and minor river bridges play an important role in allowing people to move quickly and safely to work and school. News First brings you this report of how people get by using inadequate and often dangerous means.
The public in Poldugoda and Horavela mainly depend on ferries to get across the Bentara River. They have now resorted to utilizing the ferry system because they have to travel 25 kilometers through Bentara and Matugama to cross by land. The residents charge that though the ferries are in a dilapidated state, they continue to use it despite the possible dangers due to the convenience. The state of the ferry is in ruins following prolonged usage, and the anchoring rope is in a state unfit for use. The residents pointed out this issue must be resolved immediately.
Now, one of our local stories, 2 people were killed in 2 separate shootings that took place yesterday.
One person was shot dead in the Maradana area in Veligodapara, Ahungala. The police stated that the incident took place at around 9 last night. The victim is a 28-year-old resident of Maradana in Ahungala. While the suspects have not been taken into custody as yet, investigations are underway into the incident. Meanwhile, one person was shot dead in the Murusavihena area in Angunakolapelessa at around 7:30 last night. According to our correspondent, the victim was shot while he was returning home from work. The police said that the murder was the result of a long-standing dispute between 2 factions. The victim is a 27-year-old resident of the Barakumbaka area in Angunakolapelessa. No suspects have been arrested as yet.
The accepting of nominations for the 2015 general election commences today. Additional Elections Commissioner M.M. Mohammed said the deadline for submitting nominations is at 12 noon on the 13th of this month.
According to the regulations of the 1981 No. 1 Parliamentary Elections Act, the Elections Department and police have the ability to take legal action against illegal acts such as the displaying of unnecessary cutouts, posters, placards and election campaign offices. The regulations also state that Police Department and Elections Department have the ability to investigate and look into these matters at the district level via the relevant district returning officers.
ජුලි මාස 10 වෙනි සිකුරාදා දක්වා පෙරවරු 8:30
All arrangements have been made at all district secretariats for all accepted political parties as well as independent groups to submit their nominations until Friday the 10th of July from 8:30 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. When submitting their nominations, if an accepted political party, the party's secretary or the secretary's deputy and the leader of the group representing the Colombo district and the person second to him must be present. The Sri Lanka police and our staff are prepared for the occasion of accepting nominations, which will commence today and will go on till the 13th of this month till 12 noon.
ලිඛිතව නම් කරන ලද නියෝජිත ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොලිසියත් ඒ වගේම අපේ කාර්ය මණ්ඩලයත් සූදානම් මින් සිටින බවත් සඳහන් කරන්නට ඕන.
With the accepting of nominations commencing today, nominations were accepted in the Vavuniya district. Vavuniya district returning officer M.K. Bandula Harishchandra said that all arrangements have been made for candidates to place their bonds without any hassle. Meanwhile, police media spokesperson ASP Ruan Gunasekara said that a special security program has been implemented to locations allocated for accepting of nominations.
The Inspector General of Police has given clear instructions to all DIGs in charge of the relevant provinces to add security to the locations accepting nominations. Thereby, the necessary security arrangements are being implemented for those respective areas. So the relevant DIGs are vested with the responsibility of maintaining law and order in areas surrounding the locations where nominations are accepted and ensure that election laws are met. Moreover, all villages and other public parades have been banned from taking place starting from today until a week after the conclusion of the upcoming elections. These acts are in violation of the Parliamentary Act, therefore refraining them is strictly advised.
Meanwhile, the police says that they have received 13 complaints on election law violations. Police media spokesperson ASP Ron Gunasekar said that 3 arrests have been made in relation to these complaints. The police said that they have received complaints on the intimidation, assault and destroying posters and banners. Before wrapping up, let's take a look at some of the views expressed in the political arena.
We who defeated Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was going on about being in power for many more years to come, will not find it difficult to defeat the Rajapaksas who does not have any state power or presidential power. Like we defeated the drug dealers, ethanol dealers and the corrupt, we have to defeat those corrupt involved in bond issues. If we can defeat both of those on a single platform, only then we could gain the real rights of the people of this country.
ඒ පරාජයට පත් වුණ ජනාධිපතිවරයා විතරක් නෙමෙයි.
The Rajapaksas are trying to get the position of Prime Minister despite all the corruption. It is not only the former president who lost the election, but also those ministers who contributed to that corruption are produced in courts. We managed to fulfill 90% of the promises made during the 100-day program in just 3 to 4 months.
ඔව් එල්ලිලා අගමැතිකමවත් පටල ගන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා.
අද රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ කතා කරන
What is the economic stability which is frequently spoken of by Ranil Wickremesinghe and his cabinet of ministers? They have incorporated an economic program which does not have any economic stability.
ආර්ථික වැඩපිළිවෙලක් පිළිබඳව ඔවුන් ඔප්පු කරා.
දැන් ඉන්නේ අපේ ගේම් එකේ. පාර්ලිමේන්තු ගේම් එකේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ඉන්නේ.
Mahinda Rajapaksa is now in our game. He is in the parliament game. I will have to state that we will nominate Mahinda Rajapaksa for the provincial council at the next election. If that does not work out, we will at least nominate him for the urban council with our youth.
නගර සභාවට කොහෙන් හරි ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ.
දැන් නම් මං හිතන්නේ අර විසිරුවන්නේ කියපු කණ්ඩායම පුළුවන් නම් ඇවිල්ලා කියයි ජනාධිපතිතුමාට.
The group which told the president to dissolve parliament will now come and tell to drag it on for some more time. The individual who will be appointed to the post of minister can only be removed after 5 years, even if he is involved in fraud, corruption or thievery. Even if the electoral system cannot be changed, the whole nation has a responsibility to appoint ministers to the cabinet who we could be proudly called as ministers.
අපේ මන්ත්‍රීතුමා කියලා කියන්න ආඩම්බරෙන් පුළුවන් මන්ත්‍රීවරු කණ්ඩායමක් තමයි පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට යවන්න ඕන.
Well, that's a wrap of lunchtime news here at News First, reminding you that you could keep abreast of these stories and much more by simply logging into our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First team, I am Florine Rajendran. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.